Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast. I am, if you're listening live, it is midnight. We're supposed to be done by now. But this is not going to be a long show. What I just want to say is that it's going to be interesting. As long-time listeners, all five of you, what's up, guys? As you'll know, we don't cover the big E's anymore. It's almost like if you have an E in your name, we don't. Entertainment or elite, we ain't interested. But that being said, we're gonna make a little detour tonight because we do want to talk about this. This needs to be talked about. Tribalism in wrestling. Marcus, you a fan?
Absolutely not, man. It's a great art form, uh, but it's just wrestling. It's not everything. It's a great part of life, but it's not everything.
I have my favorite wrestling companies. I like Impact. I like MLW. I'm willing to give the new era of EC3 and NWA a chance, although their TV show's not doing it for me as we speak. I like mostly, when we talk about foreign wrestling, I like a lot of it. Not necessarily Lucha Libre, because Lucha Libre has its own style. It's like watching a vaudeville comedy show or like a Saw movie. Like it has its own specific points of existence. It's not for everyone, but I like a lot of stuff. And like I even still occasionally watch WWE and AEW when the time is right. But I don't get so hung up on things where it's like, hey, this guy's leaving, like Sami Callihan, for instance. He's probably going to go and sign with AEW. Power to him. He's going to get paid a lot of money. I'm not somebody who enjoys the. Nope, we're good with that. I'm not so much a fan of crapping on someone because they're making the best business move for themselves and their family. I'm not. Eddie Edwards really likes working in Impact because he has an easy schedule, gets paid six figures, gets to work with his wife, and gets to go home and see his daughter regularly. You don't think Eddie could be making more money elsewhere? Of course he could. But this is what works for Eddie. There's job security with that. There's stability with that. But if he were to go to the WWE tomorrow, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be disappointed, sure, because I don't watch a lot of Raw and SmackDown, so that means I wouldn't watch a lot of Eddie. But I would still be very glad that he's there. So I say that to say this. A lot of people have been having emotions lately. When Jade Cargill got signed by the WWE, there were a lot of people who called her all sorts of terrible names. All because she chose to go to the WWE. Now, by the way it sounds, Tony Khan gave her an offer that was more than she asked for, but she still wanted more. I don't think she's worth what she was asking for, let alone the more that Tony gave her. So I would have been like, all right, Jade, you can head off and see what your value is elsewhere. I'm not going to be mad about it. So she goes to the WWE. Apparently she's going to bypass NXT altogether, which I think is a mistake, because I think she needs a boatload of work. But I think she has the look, the vibe, and the general presence to be very big, but she needs to work on her in-ring stuff. That said, I'm not mad that she went to the WWE. I think it's a little corny how big the WWE are making her signing feel, but she has the opportunity to do great things there. On the flip side, I'm not mad that Edge debuted in AEW. Popped up. He's the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. That's dope. You do you. But there's a lot of people having some big feelings about both these stars, and I think the worst one comes from this Twitter user, Jobber Nation TV. I've seen some of his tweets. I don't follow him. I'm not a fan. But here's what he had to say, and I think it's indicative of where we are as a culture, and we need to really walk it back. He went on. He apparently went on a rant last night when Edge debuted, and he tried to walk it back, and he said, "quote I woke up this morning and realized I overreacted last night. The Edge stuff and the Kansas City Chiefs stuff being handed a win by the ref had me pissed. After thinking and evaluating everything, I've come to this conclusion: Edge is the biggest traitor in WWE history. I will no longer acknowledge anything he's done in WWE. It's not the fact he went to AEW. It's how he did it. He used WWE, buried everyone, demanded money and TV time detrimental of younger stars, and trashed WWE fans the first chance he got. Good riddance, Edge." I don't know why you guys say good riddance, but you know what? Now, the funny thing is, none of that is true. That is an emotional reaction and a juvenile one at that. First and foremost, this is... I'm confused when he says detrimental to younger stars. First and foremost, that was the case in 1999. Marcus, why was that the case in 1999? Why was Nitro and Thunder using only older stars a bad thing? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh, let's see. Make some of those guys over the hill, stopping these young up and coming guys who, particularly when it came to the cruiserweight divisions, needed more spotlight, grow the company. Yeah.
There's no showcase though for them. Yeah, they had the cruiserweight division. Yeah, they could go for the TV title, but for the most part, it was the same guys in the main event. So one, Edge hadn't been around for a decade when he came back, so he hadn't been hogging the spotlight. Number two, the WWE has, 4 TV shows? We have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT Level Up, right? Plus we have NXT branded pay-per-views. And we have a litany of 3 to 5 hour WWE specials on Peacock. PLEs. There's plenty of... Braun Breaker's getting his time to shine. He's headlining. What's his name? Trick Williams?
Yeah.
Making headway. Then you have guys like Ilya Dragunov, Gunther. Like, these guys are finding places in the roster to elevate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Edge at no point held anyone back. In fact, Edge helped Dominic Mysterio get over. Edge helped Rhea Ripley get over. I'm trying to think here what the hell this dude's talking about by burying everyone that he worked with. Did he beat Finn Balor? Sure, but Finn Balor's nearly is nearly as old as Edge. That's not a burial. And one, losing doesn't mean buried, and that's another thing that really aggravates me. Like these, we've talked about people misusing words all the time, and then finding out that because they misused the words, the emotional gravitas that these words once had no longer is sufficient enough. It's like calling everyone who talks to an 18-year-old a pedophile. No, pedophile is strictly interested in young children, and it's far worse. So to diminish the term is not helpful to the severity of what that word is supposed to mean. Now, granted, not nearly as significant or serious, but when you bury someone, it's a squash match. You do it to make them look bad. Edge has not made anyone look bad. It'd be unprofessional, and Edge is quite professional. Save for the whole 2005 arc. So he didn't bury anyone. And he claimed that he used the WWE. Saying that you used the WWE is like saying that you used women while watching porn. They know what they are. They know their existence. They know that the WWE themselves is going to run you down, take everything they can from you, and then kick you out the door with a watch and a how do you do. No one should ever feel bad for the WWE. Like, at all. It's a giant billion-dollar company that will, if it can, destroy the industry to be the only player in town, because that's what the UFC did with MMA. You can't use something that is intentionally trying to use you. It is trying to generate profit off of your back, off of your body, off of your health. It cannot be used. It can be gamed. Did Edge game the WWE? Probably not. But if he did, good for him. It's not like the WWE is like, it's not like the WWE is like some like what's the word I'm thinking of, like a charity organization. Like, it's not UNICEF. It's not the Red Cross or Goodwill.
It's a public nonprofit, Jack.
My bad.
It's a big ass nonprofit. Not for nothing, because I want to interrupt you, but that also implies, like, how many years did he spend in that company?
Yeah.
The deep logic leap that it implies that he went all those years with all those injuries. One, we thought that his career was legitimately over, only to come back and have a hell of a run despite the ups and downs. It also implies, like, Edge was waiting for AEW to come just so he could jump ship.
Calling Cody in 2020. Hey, you gonna do that thing? Calling him in 2021. Hey, I see you doing that thing. Can I join? Like, what? Are you high? I mean, probably, but like, are you? And then it goes on to say he demanded a lot of money. Yeah, he's a star. Why wouldn't he? Jade Cargill demanded a lot of money. I don't see him bitching and moaning about that. Of course he's not going to, because it's WWE and he's a tribalist. It's like, listen.
He's married to a baseball player.
Yeah, pretty good one too. Brandon Phillips was a pretty good hand for the Reds. But when you look at, like, Taylor Swift, you think she's doing the Eras Tour at cost? No. She's making a profit off of every show, or she wouldn't be doing them. This is entertainment. It's a cash, financially based industry. No one does anything for free, and nor should they. If you have a talent and people want to see it, charge money for it. So this whole, like, oh, he demanded a lot of money. Yeah, he's worth it. At least that's the idea. I don't know if I'd give him a lot of money for his health. Maybe in 2007, sure. Definitely 2002, before he breaks his neck the first time, hell yeah. But, like, this whole idea of, like, well, he's a businessman who wants to make money, and that makes him a traitor. What? What? The WWE just got bought for like $2 billion. They just fired people because they have redundancies. They just made the most money in a given year they've had in I don't know, if maybe ever. And they're about to talk about a $2 billion deal for SmackDown, and they just cut like 20 wrestlers. I don't understand. Like, no one sits here and goes, Marcus, did you know LeBron James is playing in the NBA because of the money he can get paid? That traitor, that sellout, that scallywag.
Nobody does anything for the love of it anymore. It's like...
It's almost like you should be broke and poor and breaking yourself down for my entertainment.
It's like they're trying to make this narrative like we live in a capitalist society. It's a free world, man.
So then the funny part is he complains because Edge wanted TV time to the detriment of younger stars. The WWE has 3, 5, 7. What's level up? 2 hours or 1 hour? I think it's 1 hour. We'll go conservative. We'll say 8 hours. The WWE has 8 hours of live television every week. They've created Gunther. They allowed LA Knight to rise to the top. Jey Uso, for whatever reason, is over on Raw. And I don't mean like he's on Raw. I mean he's over, and I still don't understand why. You know, they are building up new stars. This isn't Hulk Hogan throwing everyone in the ring together and pinning them in 30 seconds, bada bing, bada boom. These guys are being built. They're being developed. They're being showcased. Like, again, I don't know what... This isn't Triple H in 2006 when he's pedigreeing... Who was it? MVP? in a I think it was a beat the clock challenge, and he pinned him in like 4 minutes. That was detrimental to MVP. Booker T hitting him with the or Booker T getting hit by the pedigree and it taking like 30 seconds for Triple H to even get to over to pin him and still wins. That was detrimental to Booker T. This isn't that. Edge was not feuding with children. He was not feuding with rookies. The only one he feuded with was who? Dominic Mysterio, and that was by proxy?
Edge is a legend and a Hall of Famer. Whoever works with him, because he is a guarantee, like The Rock and like others, that guarantees anybody that work with him TV time because they can trust him.
Yeah.
The narrative bending is insane. The narrative bending is insane. And now for nothing, to going back to the money, it's not a non-profit. They have whatever money is being asked for.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing that really like conflates with me and really befuddles me is there's like we're both sports fans. I'm sorry that your Saints aren't doing too well, my friend. They are looking rough. But like, if you're rebuilding, you know, what basketball team are you currently invested the most in?
Right now, none right now. I've always tried to root for the Blazers, but that's mostly because of Dame, but that's no longer a thing.
Are you going to follow Dame to Milwaukee?
I may very well do that.
So let's look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee's current desire in life is to win another title. That's why they went and got Damian Lillard. He's quite good, that one. I write about pro basketball for a living, so like you can take my observation on Dame to heart. Like he's better than a lot of people at this game, which is pretty self-explanatory. But they're not worried about young players. That's why they traded away guys like Grayson Allen and some of their draft picks, because they're not worried about tomorrow. They're worried about today. Chicago Bulls are a mess. They have all sorts of guys that are 30 and up or about to hit 30 and up. And they're not very good. They have some young guys that they may want to see, and they want to get some draft picks more than likely for some of the guys. And when they do, they're going to want to see what they have. Case in point, look at someone like Oklahoma City. They had Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony at one point, but then they realized that they wanted to see what some of their younger players could do, so they shipped out those guys. Changed the focus to a younger group of players, and now they have guys like Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they're hoping that Chet Holmgren will turn into something, and assuming his foot doesn't break again, he might. But they're looking at trying to build a future. Milwaukee is trying to preserve the past. And if you are no longer in the title scene, and you had an older roster and some younger guys, yes, playing the older guys over the younger guys is detrimental to your long-term goals. I'm going to say something that is going to be highly controversial. Dare I say maybe even racist. Marcus, pro wrestling isn't real. I'd like to apologize for my most recent comments. I said some things that were offensive. Racist even. And I'm going to say it again. It's not real. They're action figures being told what to do. Yes, Edge is 49 years old, about to turn 50 in a month. If that. Edge can go another 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years if he wants. If his body holds up, he can go as long as he wants. Because in pro wrestling, you don't actually need to be faster, stronger, more athletic than the other guy. You just need to be put in a story where you're told that you're bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic than the other guy. Because in wrestling, the only thing that matters is the narrative. Now, when we look at the WWE, there's so much TV time per week that it's literally impossible to take time away from young stars to the point of it being detrimental. And because it's pro wrestling, even if you had a 28-year-old who isn't getting a lot of TV time right now because Edge is on top, so what? They're not going anywhere. They're usually on a 5-year contract. They'll have some place in the company to be on TV and ply their trade. And when Edge is finally done, like he is now, having gone over to AEW, you can move someone into their slot, ready to go. This is not a pro sport. This is not real athletics. It's simulated combat. If you were like trying to have guys like Edge and Jericho in an MMA promotion, yeah, you would be fucked. Because who would want to watch two slow 50-year-olds doing their thing? But in pro wrestling, anything can be anything with the right point of view. Anything can be anything with the right angle and the right narrative. So there's no issue with Edge being on top. Who cares? And the other thing that popped off in this quote, in this tweet, was that, and he trashed WWE fans the first chance he got. I saw none of that. Marcus, did you see any of that? Now, if you did, let me know. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm fine with that.
No, I don't know what he's talking about, and it's usually because it's guys like this that can't wait to say something like that and then show a receipt.
Right.
So with this, it's a lot of narrative bending and projecting. Because going back to we were talking about taking away TV time. You know how much TV time is dedicated just to Cody, Rollins, and Reigns entrances alone? Most of the time when they don't even have anything to actually do on the show.
You're not wrong.
It got to be full, and it has to have complete power on all the whole, full regalia, that whole thing. So, that takes up TV time. Like like I said, it's a lot of deep projecting and narrative in it. Just say you hurt. You want them to stay with the company you know them in. You're another one of these people that just love what they used to. And the minute it changes, it's World War III.
And the thing that really kind of irks me is like people like this one commenter right here, or the tweeter, or X, or whatever we're calling him. You know where my allegiance is like, motherfucker. They don't care about you. If you're not giving them money, they don't care about you. I know Impact Wrestling doesn't care about me, and I will only support Impact as far as I agree with their decisions. And this is the thing that really pisses me off, especially as a sports writer. I hate so much of what sports fandom is. I covered the Cleveland Browns for years. One of the things that I absolutely hated was the fact that if you didn't agree with the groupthink, that you were disloyal, that you should root for another team, that you are just a bad fan. And then the conversation would come up like, you're not even a real Cleveland Browns fan. I bet you root for other teams. And I'm sitting here going, why? Especially as a Cleveland Browns fan. Why should I have blind loyalty to a football team that for 20 years abused me emotionally, lied to me to my face, and constantly put out a bad product that demanded top dollar for me to view? Why would I be loyal to that? Why should I be loyal to that? And that's sports. In pro wrestling, why the fuck are you loyal to any company? I don't get that. If you like someone, follow them. You don't see this in any other industry. When an actor, especially in the 80s, 90s, when they were really big with being part of a studio, when they jumped studios, no one cared. When Taylor Swift, just because she's topical, when she left her last record label to start her new one, or sign with a new, I think she started a new one. No one's like, oh, you left them? You left what's his face? Can't follow you anymore, Taylor. And it's like, why are wrestling fans this stupid? I don't get it. Do you like this person? Yes. Follow them. Do you like this person? No. Then don't follow them. I still watch what Sting does in AEW. I don't watch it live. I still watch what he does. I still watch what AJ Styles does. Well, not as much anymore because it's starting to really get hard to like him. Yeah, community, what? But it's like, why would you have an issue with that? Now, for me, I don't watch a lot of it because I don't like the writing. I don't like the presentation. Yeah. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't sit here and go, AJ went to WWE, so now he's terrible. No, he's up until maybe the last 3 years. I would say 2020, 2019, he started to really show his age. But up until 2019, he was arguably still the best worker in the world, right next to Eddie Edwards. He's like 47 now. He's not anymore, and it's not because he's signed with the WWE. It's because he's old as shit. Right? Like that's
Yeah,
the issue. It's not because he signed with the company. He got old. It happens. And like if Josh Alexander leaves, good for him. I hope where he goes is beneficial to him. I know it won't be because you look at like especially for guys in like AEW, like you look at like Brian Cage's and Ethan Page's and others. Yeah, they're getting used now, but Brian Cage specifically was literally a headliner, was the top guy in Impact. Now he's sometimes on Ring of Honor.
yeah, he's the white boy in the embassy, in the Mogul embassy.
Now I would so listen. I love Prince Nana. He's the manager of the Mogul Embassy, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because he was the manager of the embassy in Ring of Honor. So I love Prince Nana. I don't know why he hasn't yet, and I'm hoping he does. Start calling Brian Cage Token Cage.
Token Cage.
Because Prince Nana, what?
Oh my god.
Love me some Prince Nana. So it's just one of those things. It's like, as a company or like as a human being, why do you care more about the company than you do the town?
I think I got my answer for it. I feel like because I was looking at all that crap that was going on the site yesterday on X, and just like I said, just the endless amount of pathetic tribalism, and it's like I'm sitting up there because we, since I've come to joined you guys, it's been we've covered a plethora of stuff over the years. And I feel like we've had the conversation like who may very well be worse, like the IWC or the comic book fan.
IWC.
Because it's the same level. You're probably right. It's the same level of patheticness across the board. Really, it's this deep, unnecessary overinvestment in something, and it has to be for a lack of something. I think specifically to your question, why is there this this big huge reaction? Why they can't just follow the person instead of locking into the company? Because I feel like they've locked in again, like I said, to something they're used to. And during that time, they've linked a lot of who they are to their personality. We see it all the time. Most of these people don't even have personal pages. They have pages dedicated to whatever it is they like. So much of who they are is wrapped up in these narratives